Hey guys, Dylan from Noble Records coming at you with another video. This is your weekly heavy rotations live from Noble Records. Been really enjoying doing these videos for you guys, just kind of show you what I'm into. I love talking to you like you're my friends, because most people that are in my life, you know, they like records, but not on the level that they're going to listen to me talk about it for 30 minutes. So anyways, thank y'all for watching. We're just gonna talk about some records that I've been into. This first record is one I've been wanting for like 10 years or more. Started reading the book 1001 Albums to Hear Before You Die, and just probably, I mean, it was my early 20s I discovered that book, and it turned me on to so many cool albums. But this is one that was in there. This is Os Mutantes. This is 1966. Son of a mother. This is 1966 South American psych. With a strong, garage leaning to it too, but it's weird, it's out there, but this is really, really, really good stuff. When I first heard it, I was like, man, they have like psych in South America too. Little did I know I'd become obsessed with that. But this is one that's just an absolute grail. This is an original Brazilian mono. But man, this album is a really cool record. It's got some good fuzz guitar licks in it and all that, but it's just as far as like a psychedelic composition, it's on point. It's really good. And then another one I got here is this record also by them, A Divina Comedia. A Divine Comedy, I suppose, is something to that degree. I have not researched that. That is just based off of my rudimentary Espanol. But yeah, another really killer one. I've heard some people say they like this one better. I like the other one better, but they're still both really, really good. This is an original Brazilian mono as well. But to find these are like insanely rare. A viewer of the channel, Trey, thank you, man. He came across them and had something that I wanted and he wanted, so we kind of swapped, and it really worked out for me. I really am appreciative of that and thinking of me, because those have been two big ones on my want list for a long time, especially that first one. So on that same route, this is Adamendra. This is their second. So I talked about them in one of my recent heavy rotations. This is just freaking amazing stuff. Their first is it's got like someone in a swimming cap with an arrow stuck to their head. That's the first one, and it's really, really good. But this one is way more up my alley. This is an original. I believe it's a Argentinian press, but yeah, look at that label. But a lot of really crunchy fuzz guitar, some smoldering tracks on here. Just really, really killer stuff. This is one I've also been kind of eyeballing since I discovered that first one, trying to find. So this is one I've been listening to like crazy this week, and it is so good. You can stream it. I would highly suggest you trying to find it and stream it. It's really, really cool stuff. Almendra. Let's see what else we got here. This is another South American. I'm trying to stay, in that same theme. Aguilare Brumas is the name of the album. I have their self-titled, which I've shown before, and it's really killer, really good as well. But this one is a little bit more progressive. Another really amazing album. This is an original Argentinian press as well. I found somebody that had a few, and we did some wheeling and dealing, and I got them. So been really, really after this like South American psychedelic stuff. Man, there's a lot of really, really, really cool stuff there that we don't really, I don't know, in the US, I've never heard anybody else talk about it but me. So there are other people that are into it. I'm sure. I'm not saying, that. I'm just saying that I've discovered it, and I've been like, holy moly, there's a whole rabbit hole of South American stuff that's really killer. So this is another really good one. So those are my South American finds for this week. A friend of mine owns a record store, Spatula City Records, somewhere in California, and he threw this up. He had this, The Millennium Begin, and I've been wanting this album for a while. This is a essential psych record. This is an original first press, and I'm telling you guys, there's no way that a cleaner copy exists. It's just not possible. This is so mint. And he hates stuff like this. He was like, hey man, I listened to this record, it's awful, I thought you'd love it, and I was like, yes. So this is I don't know how you couldn't like this record. He was probably just joking with me, but this is an absolute masterpiece. It is pop psych, but it is the best kind of pop psych. It's not like really cheesy commercial pop psych. This is just a phenomenal record, and the story behind it's really interesting. So this was 1968. Up until this point, nobody did 16-track recording except for, this was the second album that used 16-track recording. The first was Simon & Garfunkel Bookends, I believe. But anyways, up until 1968, this had the record for the most expensive production of any album ever, and it completely flopped. So it's kind of funny, but man, this is just a really, really fantastic record. The production's amazing, obviously, on it, and just some really cool sounds. The songs are really great. Man, I absolutely love this record. There's a lot of cool ties, a lot of cool players on it, but this is one that, check this out. If you like Odyssey and Oracle and that kind of pops like this really good, that's right up your alley. This is another one that I found this week, and this is truly found out in the wild amongst a bunch of turds. There's just a box of records I was looking through that had nothing in it. And this, obviously, if you see this cover, you're going to buy it. You know what I mean? Even if you don't know what it is, you're going to buy it. This is Purvis Leeway, a Charlotte native. This dude, this was recorded in Charlotte and everything. He self-released these records, but they're really, really good. He has a first one as well that's really good, but this is like soul folk, like if you can imagine that. But he's just a folk singer, plays guitar, and it's really, really good stuff. A few years ago, you could find them all over the place, and they were like $20. Now they're like a lot more. They're really tough to find, and so I ended up buying the whole box of records just for this one. And man, this is one I've been looking for a while. I had one a couple years ago, and really needed the money, and I saw it was worth a lot, and a friend of mine wanted it, so I just sold it without listening to it, and I was like, bah. And then I listened to it later, and I was like, dang it, I wish I kept that. But Purvis Leeway, this is a really, really unique and interesting sounding record. Very good stuff. Thrilled to finally have found one. And when you're in Charlotte, it's kind of like you got to find it out here. It's local. It's findable. So that's only like the third one I've ever run across. I had another one before that. This is one, Nine Ways Wonder, We Never Lost Control. Really good prog stuff. I bought a record from somebody on eBay, and they're like, hey, if you're into this prog stuff, I'm gonna throw this one in, and you just kind of PayPal me back some money or whatever you think it's worth. So we kind of made a deal that way. And this is a really cool prog record. This is one I've been looking for a long time too. Dr. Strangely Strange Heavy Petting. This is an original UK press. This is a heavy hitter too. Really good stuff. But this is more on the folk psych, UK folk psych type thing. It's got that Vertigo sleeve that you love to see, but it's got a really cool fold out interactive jacket. I'll see if I can pull it out for you guys and kind of show you. But it kind of folds down and crosses over, like they meet together in the middle. It's pretty cool. I don't want to mess it up, but yeah, usually you find them and they're trashed or whatever, and then the really nice ones are really expensive. So I was lucky to get this at a decent price, and man, I'm thrilled to have it. It's really cool, and it's not like the regular Vertigo, like smoking guitar heavy Black Sabbath. It's a lot more folky than that, but I still really do like it. This is one I've been looking for a couple years as well. This is an amazing album, really good, and I've never heard anybody else talk about it. So this is Moonstone. This is an original Canadian press, 1973. Absolutely incredible acid folk. And when I say acid folk, it's just like, it's not like, your typical radio folk. It's not like tripping on acid. It's just like a little bit out there, but it's still like really good, palatable folk. This has got a really cool West Coast Laurel Canyon type vibe to it. It has some Crosby, Stills, Nash Young leanings to it as well, but the songwriting is insanely good on this record. Very cool guitars, male, female harmonies that are just out of this world. But yeah, man, this stuff, it is so good. I've been looking for it for a really long time. There's the song on here, In Case, is the one. You can stream this on Apple or probably Spotify as well. But that song, In Case, the lyrics are amazing. I mean, it's just such a well-written song. And this whole album is that way. It's like, man, wow, that was a good song. That was a good song. But just really cool guitar stuff in here. It's all acoustic. But it's just a very, very, very cool record. And I've been looking for this thing forever. So to find one, and I got it at a really good price because they usually are really expensive. So that's just a great one. I'd highly recommend checking out. This is another one. I've talked about this before. Clark Hutchinson. This is a really strange guitar record. This is an original UK. It's a UK or German. It's German. But I just been looking for original, like early press for a while. I had a reissue that was pretty good. But just kind of been looking for an original. You know how us weird record collectors are. But it's just got some weird out there guitar experimentation type stuff. It is not an expensive record. Even the original UKs are like $40, you know, so it's not crazy. But this is a really cool one. I'm glad to have it. This one that I'm not going to be able to pronounce. I've had to reissue this for a while. This is Walpurgis, Queen of Saba. This is on the OHR Ear label, original German press. This is a fantastic prog record. There's really cool guitar riffs on here. I love this album, and I've had it for a while, and I've listened to it a ton. And ran across somebody that had some cool stuff, and they had this, and I got it at a really good deal. And I'm absolutely stoked to have it. But this is just, I mean, this is an amazing prog record. Absolutely love it. And I've not seen a lot of people talk about it, so I've been listening to that this week. This Dr. Z is this isn't a Vertigo. This is 3 parts of my soul, or 3 parts to my soul. This is originally on Vertigo. Thousands of dollars. I don't know, like really, really expensive. This is a Acorn reissue. But yeah, it's got like a cool fold out interactive cover, but really good psych with some weird elements, some cool guitar stuff. It's really good. I would never pay thousands of dollars for it, but I would pay the $20 I paid for this one. So it's a really cool record. Fun to seek out if you're in the mood for something like that. Got these last night. A friend of mine found these somewhere in the backwoods and brought them to my shop. These are on the Black Jazz label. See, splat. So I'll start with this one. Gene Russell. Gene Russell is one of the founders of Black Jazz. I think they put out like 20 records. Doug Carnes on Black Jazz. Like anything you see on Black Jazz, just buy it. You know, they were early 70s, early mid 70s, I believe. They were kind of putting out some soul jazz, funk stuff. Really cool label. If you see anything on Black Jazz, pick it up. This is the one I was most excited about. Calvin Keys, Proceed with Caution. He's a guitar player, and there's the original label, but this album is smoking. Really cool. Some of it's like really jazzy and like straightforward jazz, and some of it's really funky. Same with that Gene Russell record. That's like, there's some really laid back numbers that are almost just straightforward jazz, and then there's some funky stuff in there. There's some soulful stuff in here, but some really cool guitar licks on here. Thrilled to get this one, but I just got this one last night. I've already listened to it a couple times. Really stoked about it. And then I'll show you some stuff like I've been really listening to, been really into. This Stevie Ray Vaughan, Couldn't Stand the Weather, Ultra Disc One Step. Holy moly, I got one left in the shop. But I listened to that for the first time a couple days ago. I sat down, like when I put on my Ultra Disc One Steps, I collect them a little bit. I like to sit down in my chair, kick back with a cup of coffee or something, and just sit and just chill and listen. Like that's my escape. You know, that's my restorative time, that I just get to sit there and just enjoy your records. I was telling my wife, like, on Saturday, so I found that really crazy collection last week on Monday, and then I priced 1,000 records by Saturday. Tested gear, all this stuff. I ran like crazy all week to get it done. After like Saturday, after the rush of everybody coming in and buying and shopping and meeting all these people, and like after like everything died down, everything was cool, I just kind of sat back and I was like, oh my gosh. I felt like, I don't know if you've ever been in a car accident. Like your whole system is jarred and you're like, ugh. You know, that's how kind of I felt. Not a bad car accident, but just one that was really stressful, you know, and kind of threw your neck out of balance or whatever. That's kind of how I feel after like a big week like that. And so on Saturday, I just kind of, after that, I just sat back and listened to my Stevie Ray Vaughan Ultra Disc One Step and almost woke the kids up because it was so loud. But anyways, really great stuff. I've talked about this a couple times. Ian Carr, Nucleus, Belladonna. This is actually just Ian Carr. I don't think Nucleus is named on here. But anyways, it is Nucleus. Let's be honest. But this is a really cool, I won't talk too much about this because I have talked about this a couple times before. Really cool jazz fusion type record. It's on Vertigo. Pretty tough to find, but Alan Holdsworth plays guitar on it. Man, this is just such a masterpiece of a record. It's freaking killer. Which also, I'll tell you guys about this really quick. I haven't talked about this much on my YouTube channel, but I have a second Instagram account, okay? It's a little sneaky private Instagram account. I don't talk about it much because none of it's for sale. This is all like my nerdy, geeky, weird, off-the-wall records that I don't want to sell. I put on there to kind of talk about and give reviews on and stuff. Not reviews. I would never say this record sucks. I just wouldn't post about it. I post all the really cool records. But anyways, it's called Find This Record on Instagram. Find it. Lots of cool stuff on there. I post all my weird, obscure stuff. This Little Feat, Dixie Chicken, not an obscure record. We've all heard it probably. Hadn't heard it in a while. And I found this super clean white label promo. You guys know me. That really tickles me in a collector-y way. And this is like just a freaking killer record. I mean, you can get these for like, I don't know, like 10 or 15 bucks now. The white label promos are more, but this one's in the shrink. It's in like perfect shape. But I threw this on the other day, hadn't heard it in a while, and I was like, what? So freaking good. What a powerhouse that whole band was. This is one I'll mention very briefly because you're never going to find a copy. This is Jim Femino, All Night Party. I think there's a couple on Discogs for sale. This is not a rare, I mean, this is a rare record, but it's not worth a lot. It's a Private Press, Pennsylvania record. This is a really cool record. I found it and I was like, this could either be worth a lot or absolutely nothing. It's worth very little. It's like a $5 record. It's from what I could tell, not a lot have sold. So, but it's got a very like really cool kind of Bruce Springsteen vibe, but a little bit more blues rocky. It's really cool. Sorry for all the jumps in the videos. This is a working shop, so I keep having interruptions. So anyways, I'm gonna show you this just because it's cool and I feel like you would care to see it. This is a really cool first mono UK blonde on blonde. I'll show you the label. I mean, in the UK, you guys probably come across these every Thursday, but over here in the US of A, we don't get them that often. So pretty cool. First mono press. I mean, the first mono US presses are kind of rare. I have to imagine the UK's are too. But anyways, fantastic record. Blonde on Blonde's one of my favorite Dylan records, and really great stuff. So we're gonna talk about some like newer albums. This is not a newer album. This is 2008 press. Neil Young and Massey Hall. I was able to get my hands on a couple sealed copies of this. So these are kind of rare now. I had one already, so I was like, man, I hadn't heard this in a while. And I know people are going crazy over them, so I put it on, and holy crap, this is a good live Neil Young record. And I do have a couple sealed copies, so if you want to email me. I got some like early sealed stuff that's kind of rare, that I'll talk about some more later in this video. But yeah, feel free to email me if most of the rest of these I'll have sealed copies of that I have just in the shop. But I like, usually when I get cool stuff in, I'm like, I want to be able to recommend it. I want to be able to talk about it when people come in. So I do give it a listen. And this is another one that I knew it was good. I remember it being good, but man, it's just really killer. And I got a few sealed copies of that. So I do have those. And then this Mars Volta Octahedron. Whew, this is a really good record. I guess kind of hard to find. I don't know. I got a few sealed copies of this too. But I like the Mars Volta. I like the sound. 15 years ago or so, I heard the Mars Volta song The Widow, and I listened to it nonstop. I love that song. It is killer. But the other Mars Volta stuff, I think, was a little, I don't know, out of my comfort zone at the time. It was a little more psychedelic than I was comfortable with at that time. And then, you know me now, I'm nuts. But this is a really cool record. I'm going back and kind of revisiting all the Mars Volta stuff because I know there's some really killer stuff there. That album is amazing. I've probably listened to it. I got a few copies this week. I've probably listened to it 10 times. That's how much I like it. Really, really good stuff. So that's one I'd recommend. I got some of this Back to the Future, this Mondo Back to the Future on silver, DeLorean silver. But I mean, Back to the Future, you may not know this about me, but Noble Records, cool. Jeez, these calls, these like sales calls. Anyways, my favorite movie series is Back to the Future. I love it. And any cool Back to the Future stuff I get, I do have an original Back to the Future soundtrack, but this was a cool one. I got a few copies of that, and I couldn't resist grabbing one for myself. Here's a couple more. This Caius record, holy moly, with Josh Homme and John Garcia. Really, really good stuff. I think the original pressings are like astronomically expensive. It's mid-90s, but this is a really, really heavy record, and I really like it. I never really listened to it much. And then my friend over, old Billy Hurst, he's got Riverbend Records, if you follow his channel. He had a bunch of copies of this, and he's like, you should check that out. So I checked it out. I was like, dang, man, that's some really good stuff. This Brandy Carlisle, it's live at the Benaroya Hall with the Seattle Symphony. This record is insanely good. I mean, I've talked about Brandy Carlisle a good bit, but this is such a beautiful record. I mean, every song on it's amazing just because she's amazing and her voice is incredible. But I mean, I have not seen her live, but I'd imagine it'd have to be amazing. This came out in 2017. I think it was recorded in 2011, I believe. But anyways, this is one that they've become really rare and really tough to find, and I have a few still copies of this as well. This is some amazing stuff. If like, pull this up and stream it. It's really, 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 really good. 60 Years On, that song, unreal. I love that song. But that I've listened to that probably 3 times this week in the shop at least. That's such a good record. Another one, this one, Joe Bonamassa, British Blues Explosion. I was going to give you all a heads up on this. This is a 3 LP. And I have some in the shop, and they're like gettable, and they're in print. They're, you know, it's a 3 LP, and they're like $32.99 is what we have them for. But like for a 3 LP color vinyl live show, this is a really nice, thick, I mean, it's a good value for the money, but really smoking, I mean, you know, Joe Bonamassa, smoking blues guitar, amazing stuff, freaking killer. So if you see this at your local record store, the cover's kind of bad, but it's a cooker. Really, really good stuff. And then the last one I was going to show is this John Mayer, Where the Light Is. Been wanting to show this for a while. I ordered some copies and got a bunch of them, and I was down to my last one. And I was like, I want to listen to this. I threw it on the shop. The first 10 seconds, someone comes to me, who can I buy that? It's like, dang it. So, yeah, I sold to him. But I eventually ordered a few more copies and got one for myself. John Mayer, I'll say it again. I've said it many a time. But John Mayer is both overrated and underrated, if you can imagine. You know, the music snobs, they kind of discount him, right? And then like the regular people, I think, that aren't like, you know, jerks and music snobs, some of them like really like his hits and think he's the greatest and all this stuff. I think that the people that really like him, I mean, there's obviously fans all in between, but I think for the most part, as far as music snobs, I think that they dismiss him because he's John Mayer, and he's like, you know, he had some cheesy stuff. Let's be honest, but his guitar playing is incredible. I've said this before. It was like 2004 or something. Around that time, some friends were going to a John Mayer concert. I always make fun of them. And they were like, we need a ride. If you would drive us, we'll pay for your ticket. And I was like, sure, why not? I have anything else to do. Because I think Ben Folds 5 was opening for him, and I wanted to see them anyways. So I was blown away. I was immediately a fan. Like, just, he is a virtuoso. He is one of the most incredible guitar players. He can, like, go with any style. He's incredible. But this, I think this album was released in like 2008. But I remember hearing, I think the first thing I really grabbed onto was Bold as Love on here. But just this album shows his, I think it's a 4 LP set, but this album shows his versatility. Like, just, he plays 3 different sets of different types of music, and they're all amazing. So I really like that. But his blues stuff that he does with John Mayer Trio is incredible. It's really switching up the camera angles here. Sorry, I'm being weird today. But one that I've been really getting into is this Pantera Vulgar Display of Power and Cowboys from Hell. I've never really been a Pantera guy. I remember when I was young, some of my friends liked it, and it was a little on the heavy side for me. But then, like, I started listening to that power metal. I got an original press with that metal collection, and holy smokes, I loved it. And I do love Dimebag, so that kind of pulled me in, and I really do like Vulgar Display of Power. Really cool record. So been listening to that here lately, and I got some copies in the shop, which they're kind of tough to find, and I believe they're out of print. So, and then this one I want to give you guys a heads up on, this Delvon Lamar Organ Trio, I Told You So. This one came out on Friday. This is a killer record. It's like, I talk about coal mine records all the time. We have some in the shop, some copies of this, but you can get them anywhere. New release, everybody has them. But find this record. If you don't buy it on vinyl, at least listen to it. Support this label, because, you know, there's a lot of bad music out there. We need to support the good music, and this is some freaking good stuff. I love this record. I listened to it today, and I was like, holy moly, he does a cover of Careless Whisper. It's hilarious, but it's also really cool. But just really good. Booker T and the MGs, Hammond organ, just, it's killer stuff. It's really good. And then also wanted to give you guys a heads up. I've been listening to this digitally. It's a girl named Danielle Dirac, really good singer-songwriter. Her album just came out like a couple weeks ago, I think. But if you like Julian Baker, she's really, really good, soft, delicate, acoustic singer-songwriter type stuff, indie type stuff. But like I said, if Julian Baker's another really good one, but if you like Julian Baker and you know who I'm talking about, she's really, really worth checking out. I think she's got like a pre-order up on her records, and she's completely independent. She's putting out her own records and all that stuff, so it's really cool. And I'm talking to her. I might get some copies in the shop as well, but really cool stuff to check out and stream. So thank y'all for watching this video. We appreciate all your support. Thanks for hitting that subscribe button. Follow us at Noble Records on Instagram. And if you're feeling a little crazy, find this record on Instagram, where we post all the obscure stuff that's not for sale. So thanks again. We love you guys. I love you guys. I love having somebody to talk to who gives a crap. So we'll see you next time.